Yo, just want to holler at the players real quick. Just want to holler at my homies, Super Sea Dragon. Where you at, my Navy homeboy? What's up, Human Paradox? One of the young bloods. You're so young. He ain't but 12 years old. Where you at, homie? Ain't heard from you in a minute. I'm on location, man. I decided to go out of town and take a little time off. I was supposed to be programming this drum machine, but I really didn't get around to it. And but I did get a little rest. This storm is a beast. I mean, it was real nasty last night. I was about to go to one of these bars over here in town to look at the Mayweather McGregor fight, and I decided not to because I didn't. First of all, I didn't want to be around a bunch of assholes, and secondly, I wasn't gonna pay nobody $25 to go look at no fight, and I can't even look at it in the privacy of my own home. So that wasn't gonna work. And I didn't want to be bothered with some bitch hanging around talking about buying a drink. I didn't want to deal with that dumb shit. So, and I definitely wasn't hungry. So I said, nah, I'll just catch the highlights. Anyway, before we get into that, I wanted to talk about a couple of things real quick. About 2 or 3 months ago, I don't know if you guys caught wind of this, but there was a dust up on the Bill Maher show. And the dust up was because he called himself a house nigger. And it was a bad move on his part. Extremely bad. And it was bad because it wasn't only in bad taste, it was just something that he should not have said. And the funny thing about it, and it could have been phony outrage. It could have been phony outrage. A lot of white people was like, dude, I know you didn't say that. I know you don't think you that cool with black people to make a derogatory statement like that. And Bill Maher thought he could pull it off. And even when he said it, even the white people were cringing. I didn't see that exact show, but I saw the highlights of it online. And then the next time he had his show, I happened to be in Houston, and I'm looking at HBO, and Ice Cube was on there, and Ice Cube got in his ass. He said, "Hey man, I knew you were gonna fuck up sooner or later," because he's been building up to that. You know, Bill Maher says a lot of slick shit every now and then. His white supremacy, sometimes he lets his white supremacy flag fly. And that was one of those times when he let it fly. Because you have to understand about Bill Maher. Bill Maher did because he smoked weed with Chris Reed, one of the guys out of Kid and Play, the rap group Kid and Play, the legendary rap group Kid and Play out of NYC. He think because he's down with him, or he's down with other black people, he smokes weed with other black people and he fucks black women, that he could just say whatever the fuck he want to say. And a lot of cats called him out on it. Not just brothers, not just Ice Cube. A lot of brothers called Bill Maher out on that shit. And instead of letting Ice Cube totally go in on him, which he did quickly, Bill Maher tried to shut him down and was like, oh, no, I didn't mean it like that. Y'all taking what I said out of context. What I said was fucked up. But he would never just take that L. He wouldn't just take that L like a man would take an L when he sees that he's looking like a fucking fool and an idiot. Bill Maher didn't take that L lightly. Instead, what he did was he called himself getting into a debate with Ice Cube about fucking race, and Ice Cube was like, dude, it clearly school was out with Bill Maher's ass, and he didn't want to hear it. And you notice every time a white man gets in trouble for something, he don't want nobody checking him. Because he'll say, well, yeah, what I said or what I did was wrong, but what I said or did was wrong, but there's reverse racism. I know what I said was wrong, but you niggas hate black people. Hate white people. Excuse me, you black people hate white people. They come up with any, and it ain't just white males, white supremacist suspects like Bill Maher. He ain't the only one. There's plenty of them out there. Just because they think they fooling somebody because they listen to black music. Just because you listen to black music and smoke weed don't make you black. But you got to understand something with a lot of these white culture vultures and these culture thieves like Bill Maher. You have to understand about these kind of white people. They think, like look at Justin Timberlake. They consider him be blue-eyed soul. First of all, there ain't no such thing as blue-eyed soul. The only soul music comes from people like Gladys Knight, Aretha Franklin, James Brown, Parliament Funkadelic, Mel and Tim, was it Sam and Dave? The ones that sang if something is wrong with my baby. If something is wrong with my baby. Oh yeah. Something is wrong with me. If something is wrong with my baby. Yo, you gotta go to iTunes or Amazon.com and get that, man. Help them brothers out. I think Sam is still living. Dave has passed on, but go on download that song, man. That's an Isaac Hayes cut right there. He wrote and produced that, him and David Porter. Anyway, white folks, whether they're white males or white females, they can't take an L. They can't take an L like we can. They got to make up some kind of excuse. Well, you did this to me, and don't think it's just high profile white people that do that. It's regular run-of-the-mill white folks that do that too. I've had white girlfriends that did that shit. Yeah, I was wrong, but look what you did. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, bitch? You trying to equate you talking to another nigga on your phone to me not washing the dishes last night? What kind of dumb shit is that? There's no correlation there. Take that L and shut the fuck up. And like I said, most white people can't take an L, especially when it comes to black people. They can barely take one when it's their own people that's calling them out on some non-racial shit. They can barely fucking do it. White supremacy is being exposed for what it is. A bullshit ideology. And it's starting to make white folks mad. And let me tell you something. They can't just throw Trump's orange ass out like people think they can. It's a process. And they had a 2020 show about I want to say they had a 2020 show about, I would say about a month ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago, where they were equating the impeachment process with and showing the parallels that are being taken and coming to and that are coming to bear with Congress. And they're making correlations between Nixon and this Russia investigation with President Trump. And there are a lot of parallels that are eerily the same. Now, we're not talking about breaking into the Watergate, breaking into the Democratic National Committee's or convention's office in the White Watergate. That's not what we're doing there, people. And so what Trump is doing, he's trying to impede upon the progress of the special prosecutor in his quest to get to the meat and the truth of whether or not a crime was committed, either by Trump himself or by his minions or his staff, part of the office of the president, the executive branch. You got to understand, the president is the figurehead, but there are thousands upon thousands of employees who report to the office of the president, and their duties herein lie in support of the President of the United States, the Commander-in-Chief, the leader of the free world. And as you can see, and now one thing I want to bring to your attention, if you haven't paid any attention to this, you notice how every time they have one of these white supremacy rallies, which is pure symbolism, you notice they're always armed. And I'm wondering why it is some of you niggas and some of you honkies are going out there unarmed. Now, I just looked at 2020 from last Friday this week, and they were showing all these white supremacists. They showed the white supremacists that hit the black woman at that Trump rally. He actually ended up getting a domestic violence charge put against him, and he pleaded down to disorderly conduct. He pled guilty to that. But he has a job. He's a delivery driver. Now, they didn't say what company he worked for, but obviously he's front and center, and the company he works for doesn't have a problem showing his face, because a lot of those cowards had masks on, or they had bandanas over their faces, because they didn't want, because one guy said, well, I'm a minister. Now imagine you a black person and you going to that racist asshole's church, and he's going to a neo-Nazi. He's a neo-Nazi, which a lot of those preachers are. They just some of the more educated ones, like the Dr. Hagees and some of those cats. They're just a little more slicker with their rhetoric. But if you go to their church, you'll hear them say some racist shit. Okay? Dr. Hagee says some real slick shit. He's got a slick ass mouth. He's one of these people that endorsed Trump right off the bat. And you ought to be ashamed of yourself if you live in San Antonio or the surrounding areas and you're attending his church every Sunday or during the week. He's definitely a white supremacist suspect. But white supremacy is being exposed. And according to this 2020 show, they had a couple of these little far right, far left, anti-fascist white people out there with their bullhorns acting a fool. You got to understand, this is why I tell black people to stay home and stop demonstrating. Unless you want to get knocked up in the air by somebody's Dodge Charger. Let me look, or Avenger. Well, I think the guy had a Camaro. Let me explain something to you. A lot of these white folks that are out here protesting and acting a fool, they don't give a shit about white supremacy. Matter of fact, they're part of the problem. They're just out there acting a fool, busting out windows and all this kind of shit. They're just out there acting a fucking fool. And a lot of these white folks potheads and just idiots. They don't give a fuck about. There's no movement. They're not trying to bring attention to white supremacy and racism. Now, one of these white folks, whether it's these demonstrators, protesters, or these folks on these news networks, especially these folk so-called middle of the road and left of center so-called news organizations like CNN and MSNBC, none of them have denounced white supremacy and racism and the violence that these people are exacting upon innocent folks out there killing people and running people over. But that's what happens when you got your ass in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's not your fight, black man. I see all these coons out there, especially a lot of coon black women out there cooning and acting a fool, walking around with their shirts on talking about Jesus loves me and all this sort of stuff. And it's always the dark-skinned, ugly black women who are always out there running their mouth and following behind these honkies. You ain't doing anything but putting yourself in harm's way, because as you see, these white supremacists are coming out there with guns. They're coming out there with AR-15s. And one white dude, they caught him on, somebody recorded him shooting at that black man that had that makeshift blowtorch. I guarantee he probably had a can of Lysol and he taped a lighter to it, and you can make a flamethrower out of that shit. And I don't blame him for being armed. And he shot that shit at a couple of them honkies. But then this one redneck had the nerve to shoot in his direction. I don't know if he tried to hit him, but I guarantee if he did, that motherfucker, he's going to jail. You have to understand about these white supremacist assholes, like that one that killed that white girl in Charlottesville and ran over all those innocent people. Let me explain something to you. Some of these white supremacists are doing some kamikaze shit. They're taking one for a team white supremacy because they get martyred when they kill people, even if they kill white people, because according to them, those are nigger lovers. Those liberal white people to these asshole white supremacist suspects, they are considered nigger lovers. And like I said, a lot of these white folks at these rallies, who are these protesters that they're talking to, a lot of them don't give a shit about white supremacy and racism. They're just trying to get some notoriety. They're just trying to get on TV. And just like on the 2020 show the other day, had this dirty ass white girl, nasty looking pothead white girl. I can always tell a pothead white girl. Always. I can always tell a pothead white girl. This bitch looked like she hadn't taken a bath in weeks. Her hair looked dirty. Who gonna listen to that dirty ass bitch? That bitch was so dusty looking. And she out there trying to debate some white supremacist suspect. Just out there running her mouth. And I said to myself, not one time, all she said is, I'm an anti-fascist. What the fuck does that mean? You can't bring down fascism. Fascism ain't the problem. It's white supremacy and racism that's the main problem. And you'll never see these white people denounce white supremacy and racism. Never. They'll never do it. Because they want it in place so they can have a platform. They can go out there and act like they for black people when they ain't. And you out there with your black ass out there putting yourself in harm's way for nothing. If you look at some of them pictures, you got brothers just flying all around that car when that dude hit them people in Charlottesville. Was it last week or the week before last? I wasn't appalled by this shit. I expected, and it's gonna be more of that shit. Next time they'll take it to the next level. Next time they'll be out there shooting black people. Okay? Because you got a president who's egging them on. He's the commander-in-chief of the white supremacists. Everybody knows Trump is a Nazi. Everybody knows that. Well, he ain't a Nazi because he's friends with Mike Tyson. Yeah, they like to fuck bitches. They like to party, like to slum party with black people. People like Donald Trump like to be around celebrities. It don't matter what color they are, because to some people like Donald Trump, Donald Trump's he's the kind of guy that he sees himself as a star. And he not just a businessman, billionaire businessman. He sees himself as a star, which is why Celebrity Apprentice was so popular. It was such a good show. He was great for that because he has created and branded himself and he has created this caricature, this Orange Julius character, uh, this rich, funny looking, peculiar looking fucking person. He created that. I don't think in private Donald Trump is as inflammatory as he pretends to be. I don't think he is. And you have to understand about refined racists like Donald Trump. You got to understand how they are. Refined racists like Donald Trump, they're not going to pick up a pitchfork. They're not going to go out there and string up niggers. They're not going to do that. But they will create they will provide resources to race soldiers who will go out and carry out acts of domestic terrorism. He's going to provide, but he ain't going to get his hands dirty. Why? Because he's a refined white supremacist suspect. Rich white men like Donald Trump and the other suspected white supremacists that run a lot of these $billion and $1 trillion corporations. I'm telling you right now, they're refined racists, and they're not going to get their hands dirty. You probably won't. They probably won't hear them slip up and say nigger. That's just not their style. But they're just as much as a white supremacist racist as these guys, as this guy that ran over this white girl and killed her and took one for the team. So you guys I'm telling you right now, this is the time for brothers and sisters to stop walking around by yourselves. So I see a lot of you young brothers, y'all walking around by yourselves. These white boys will get drunk, get high on meth, whatever, and they'll scoop your ass up and go cut your balls off and throw your ass on the side of the road like they did down there where my parents are from. See, down there where my parents are from, you had to be on your P's and Q's. Black folks didn't walk around by themselves, even in their own communities. They didn't walk around by themselves. Both my grandmothers would be like, nah, y'all, you need to wait for your brother and your sister to walk home. Y'all walk home together. Because you got a chance with more than one person. The more, the better. You young black women, you don't go around here, especially, and no matter where you are, I don't care if you're in Seattle, you got white supremacist suspects everywhere around this country. Stop believing that only racism is in the South. It's everywhere. It's in the tri-state area, up in PA, New York, and New Jersey. It's down here in Texas, and it's in California. It's in Phoenix and New Mexico. It's in Colorado. It's in Montana, definitely in Montana and Idaho, and up in the Northwest corridor of Oregon and Seattle. And Washington State. You ain't getting away from white supremacy and racism. You can't get away from white supremacy and racism as long as you're on this planet. Because even if you try to get away from it and you get around black people that look like you, there's coons all around you. There's white supremacist collaborators, black males and females, who will sabotage shit for you and go run back to the commander and chief of the Nazis and tell him, hey boss, the Iceman's over here plotting, getting rid of you. You need to take care of that. You got plenty of old Stevie niggas running around here. There's plenty of Stevie niggas. Plenty of Stevie niggas running around here. And that's why I always keep my eyes open for coons. Because there's always a Stevie in our midst. Sometimes these white supremacist collaborators don't say a word. They just report back. But some of them will engage and sabotage any black progress. So you got to keep your eye open for these coons, because there are coons among us. All they care about is getting a pat on their head from white daddy and white mommy. It's sad, but it is what it is. But you have so much cooning going on because, like I said, a lot of black people want to get patted on the head. They want the attention of the white supremacist racists. So I keep telling brothers and sisters that they got to be vigilant, and you got to stop walking around here acting oblivious to what might happen to you, because there are, I don't know how many white supremacist racists riding around with guns in their pockets, ready to start some shit. And I'm going to tell you right now, sooner or later, there's going to be a bigger dust up than what happened out there in Charlottesville. Now, black folks love to run around this motherfucker talking about, oh, we need to take down these Confederate statues. Let me explain something to you. I've been in almost every state in the South, with the exception of the Carolinas. And I can tell you right now that there are Confederate statues are all over this country, and most of the time, 99.9% of the time, I don't even recognize them. I don't pay no attention because I could care less. I don't care if they pull down a Confederate statue. That's a symbolic victory, and it's useless. All these black folks on TV praying and hugging on each other and jumping up and down because they either removing or pulling down, or these protesters going down and rolling around pulling down these Confederate statues, but leaving racist laws and policies on the books to be exacted upon persons of color generally, and specifically black people. Because let me explain something to you. The rule of law, and rooted out of common law, coming from the UK, laws were put on the books by the monarchy. For what purpose? To keep common people in check. None of those laws are to affect rich people and people that are in the monarchy. And that rule of law, that spirit of the law, has been transferred to our common law system. Because if you notice, unless a rich white man or white woman really screws up, I mean, like Bernie Madoff, white collar screw up, or they go out here and kill their wife, and it's just obvious they killed their wife or their husband or their kids, then they go to jail. But they still don't, they really got to screw up. They got to, I mean, like I said again, they got to screw up as bad as Bernie Madoff in order to get some time in the pen. And even then, sometimes, some of these white folks may claim the affluenza defense and end up getting 2 or 3 years probation or a suspended sentence. Like these white boys going around here raping these girls at colleges. Don't think that shit just started with these white boys that got caught. They got prep schools that have sanctioned raping underclass girls. And these girls come from rich families, wealthy families, not just rich, wealthy families whose parents went to those schools. And that shit went on when they were there, and they kept the shit under the rug. And now, you know, they're running to the police talking about so-and-so over there raped me. These white people love rape. I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm not saying that as a light subject. It's a serious problem. You have to understand, especially white males, have been allowed to rape all over the world and here in the States. Only recently, maybe the late 80s, early 90s, have white men been going to jail for raping women of color, especially. Because that's what they usually do. They'll rape other white women, but what they usually do is go rape women of color, like that asshole cop, that half Asian, half white cop that he played for Eastern Michigan University, and he became an Oklahoma City cop, and he was raping black prostitutes, poor black women in the OKC that he felt weren't going to fight back, and these women fought back, and they got this guy convicted, and he got I think 200 and something years. So he ain't never getting out. He ain't even getting parole. He up in court crying like somebody set him up. And then crying like a little bitch. Here this 6'1", 230-pound guy built like a brick shit house. He's sitting up here crying like a little bitch. Because he getting ready to get some serious man years. They threw his ass under the prison. And he deserved it. Because he was acting under the color of law and authority over these black women. And he either raped them penally through penile penetration, or he made them perform oral sex on him. If I'd have been that woman, I would never suck a dick. But if I was a woman and I was in that situation, I would have bit his fucking dick. I'd have fixed his fucking ass. But then again, if you bit his dick, he liable to hit you in the head with that billy club or shot your ass. And then justified it. Like that Betsy, whatever her name, that cop in Tulsa killed that brother. I'm going to talk about police procedure in a video. And I'm going to have to talk about it because that's what my bachelor's degree is in. So, and the reason why it's not just that these cops or these police chiefs are white or they're black and they're coon and they're a Sheriff Clark type. Just because you got a black woman as a police chief or a black man as a police chief, that means nothing. Ask the black police officers that work for the Dallas Police Department. They had a black chief for a long time. He was just there as window dressing. It doesn't matter if you see a black person in a high position. They're just a high paid coon most of the time. They're just there to make the company look like they're not racist when they are. And a lot of those black executives won't even speak to you. I know because I was in middle management right under these assholes. And they'll come in the room and speak to all the white people, see my black ass sitting there and walk right past me. And I'll be like, well, fuck you, nigga. That's the kind of look I give them. Fuck you, dude. I don't need your approval. I don't need your attention. And if you don't like me being here looking you dead in your fucking eye, don't hire my ass. Because a lot of times what I do when I interview for these jobs, I come in there acting like a nigga nerd, which I kind of am. I am a nerd. I'm just a street nerd because I know computers. So I come in them interviews and they think, oh, this nigga is safe. Oh, we could hire him. He ain't gonna be in here fucking all the white women. Because they can get a sense of who I am and what my character is. Oh, he seems like he is interested in computers and reading and shit, which I am. I spend a lot of time programming stuff. Not as much as I should, but I do. And they always come off thinking when they interview me, hey, this guy's safe. This guy's safe. We can get over on his ass. Okay? Black people, we so busy supporting everything that don't have nothing to do with furthering the black race. We want to be LGBT. We want to support that movement. I got a cousin that's in that shit. They paid her big money to fly and fly around this country fighting LGBT issues, yet she ain't fighting any black issues. So you got to understand, when a lot of these black women go around here trying to get these symbolic victories, if they do support anything black, these black women support black women over black men and against black men. It's a us against them mentality. Then all of a sudden they're supporting black women or a so-called black cause. But that's only if it's against black men would they do that. Any other time they're shitting on black men when they get a chance. But I remember I was at this restaurant over here in Universal City, and I was getting Philly cheesesteak. There's a Philly cheesesteak place that both of the owners are from Philly. And they got all this Philly memorabilia, all this Eagle shit all around there. And they make excellent Philly cheesesteaks. You get the greasy bag and everything. Anyway, I go over there. It's right near Randolph Air Force Base. So I just left Randolph Air Force Base. I said, well, let me stop by here and get me a couple Philly cheesesteaks. So I'm getting ready to leave there. And here's some old crispity, crackety, little dark-skinned black woman gets out of this big-ass Suburban. She got the DV plate, so she's probably a veteran. And she had a black shirt on that had all this Jesus shit on it. I love Jesus, on big old pink letters. I love Jesus. All this bullshit. And I'm standing behind this broad, man. I'm looking like, look at this fucking idiot. Cooning for Jesus. Cooning for Cocoa Puffs. Just cooning. See, white folks love black people like that because you're no threat to them. Because you're supporting one white supremacist ideology over your black race. They know that. So they'll hire those black women who come in and talk about Jesus Christ. They love them because they're not going to challenge the white supremacy authority. They're not going to challenge those white males and females up in the corporate structure. They're going to come to work, and they might try to get your black ass fired, especially if you're a black man and you ain't about that bullshit. But symbolic victories are religion, supporting white religion, these white pagan religions, supporting, LGBT bullshit, pulling these Confederate statues down. That's a symbolic victory. That's a symbolic victory. You got black people out there just foaming at the mouth, crying, acting a fool, talking about it's a new day. How's it a new day? You pull the statue down, but the same racist ideologies and social structures and caste systems are still in place. The law still is against you. So you have to understand about our legal system. We live in a nation of laws. If you don't believe me, break a law and see what white police would do to your ass. We live in a nation of laws. And the law says anybody who's non-white, who ain't got no paper, you will be niggerized. You're going to be niggerized. And you will be subjugated. And you will be disenfranchised unless you find a way to fight this system. See, black men have to fight white supremacy and racism, and they got to fight hateful white supremacist collaborators like most black women are out here. If you support Christianity, you're a white supremacist collaborator. If you support LGBT, that's a Euro-American social ideology. And it's a fake one, and it's a pagan one. That's a symbol of something that doesn't represent you as a black woman or man. So why are you supporting it? You'll support everything but black folk. You'll support everything but moving black people forward. You won't support black-owned businesses. You scoff at the mere mention of a black man or woman saying, "Hey, I just opened a business. Why don't you come and support me? I opened this business so I can give black culture to my people and provide sustenance if it's a restaurant or a nonprofit that provides services and resources to our people like I do." We don't get any support. We get shit on. I get shitted on by black people. Sometimes I get more love out of white people than I do my own people. Some of these white companies will write me a check where I get black folks, they won't even donate $10. Won't donate shit. And they get something out of it. You can print that out and take it to your tax guy next year and you got a tax write-off. Hey, I gave to charity. I gave to the Iceman's charity. Here it is. Here's the proof. Here's the receipt. I back up everything I say on here. I don't just come on, unlike a lot of the fake people who are on YouTube just bullshitting, shucking, and jiving. I'm one of the real ones. And I think that puts a lot of you off. Oh, fuck that nigga, the Iceman. He just on here bullshitting like the rest of them. Oops. No, he ain't. I checked his website. Oh, no, he ain't. He says he's a psychotherapist. That's exactly what he is. He says he's a business consultant. That's exactly what he is. He said he helps black people start businesses. Yes, he does. I got receipts, homie. And I got the plaques on the wall to prove it. That I went to these schools and got these degrees. And that's why I'm insulted when I get these goofball niggas who sit up here and send me emails talking about help me out for free. It takes time to help people. And if you're writing me an email talking about you work at a fucking rundown restaurant with a bunch of fat black women and the black women are shitting on you on a daily basis and you the only black man working there and you washing dishes and shit, or you a bar back and you getting shitted on by not just the black women, but you getting shitted on by the white employees and the Mexicans that work there. There ain't nothing I can do for you, brother. Your money's no good here. I can't help you. Because even if you pay the $90 or the $85, whatever it is I charge from AskTheIceman.com, you're still going to be the same sorry nigga. You're still going to be sorry. You ain't going to take anything I say to heart. Very few people listen to these videos and say, Ice, I have been moved and I have been changed for the better. I no longer sit on my auntie's couch and play video games all day. Ice, because of you, I checked into school. I get these emails all the fucking time. I got brothers saying, man, I'm going to go join the military because I can't just keep sitting around here hanging around with the homies, possibly almost going to jail for little dumb shit, just for guilt by association. Black men don't, let me explain something to you, brothers and sisters. Black men don't have to do shit to be on the other side of the law. They don't have to do a damn thing. Stop thinking you got to do something special. You mind your own business, obey the law, and let the chips fall where they may. Because no matter what, you still can be accosted out here by these white supremacist suspect police officers. I got stopped for a ticket about a month ago, and this old punk ass Mexican dude, he was a sergeant, and he stopped me, and he got mad because I didn't kiss his ass and begged him not to give me a ticket. I said, hey man, let's get this show on the road, dog. Give me my ticket. So I'm gonna pay you. So what you gonna do? I said, I'm gonna sign and admit guilt and pay this guy $122 ticket. He was like, okay. He was like, so you just want to pay the ticket? I looked at him, I said, what else I'm going to do? Stand up here and argue with you? Like, dude, I need to get on. Like I've been spit on. Fuck out of here, man. You finna stand around here and jaw jerk with your silly ass. But he got mad because he felt I wasn't showing him the same respect that I probably would show a white cop. I said, man, I just want to go ahead and get this process done. Because I started to say something to him, I started to say something slick like this. Man, I just want to, go ahead and get this process over with so you don't get an excuse to shoot my ass. Because I've said stuff like that to cops when I was real militant. Oh, I would say that shit to them. Because I know you're stopping me because of some bullshit. Because at that time, I did have vehicles where you could look through my back window and see me and see a black man. Symbolic victories are no victories at all. Pulling down a Confederate statue and you still being shot in the street and body slammed by cops, to me, is not a victory. Until you can get laws on the books with Congress and your state legislature and your city government and your county government, if you can get policy and laws passed that move black people forward and stop subjugating us and disenfranchising us, that's a victory. That's a victory. That's a social, political, and possibly in the future, an economic vehicle and victory for us. The Voting Rights Act of 64, 65, whatever year it was a symbolic victory. Because now we have the right to vote, but we have nothing but clowns to vote for. We're either voting for a black clown who's going to go to Congress and not do a goddamn thing because he don't feel beholden to us, because all we gave him was votes. We didn't donate money to his campaign. Politicians are like prostitutes. They work for money. They don't work for free. And it's just like this black politician said years ago. He said, you people, he was, I think, mayor of one of these big cities. He straight up said, he said, hey, you don't donate any money to my campaign. I'm not beholden to you. Your vote don't mean shit to me. He didn't say shit, but he was pretty much saying, and I paraphrase, hey, your vote don't mean shit. Because black people were complaining that this guy was helping all these white companies rip off black people. That's what he's supposed to do. They gave him money. He's beholden to them. Just like President Obama was beholden to all the rich people and rich corporations that gave him money during the 8 years he was in the White House. He's beholden to them, not you. Because you haven't figured out the political, social, or economic game in this country. You have to build your economic foundation, and that's how you build a community. And from there, you build the political and social structure. Nobody's going to socially respect you as a race when you're just out there pulling down Confederate statues, but you're not. You're more content with symbolic victories than you are real victories of political, economic, and social gain. You just want a symbolic victory so you can go home and slap five and say, look what we did. We got them crackers back. We pulled down their Confederate statue. We pulled down Robert E. Lee. But yet Robert E. Lee's white supremacist and racist policies and laws are still on the books. Police are still shooting us in the street and still getting off and keeping their job. That Betsy woman, whatever her name is, that killed that brother, talking about he was on PCP. They always talk about niggas is on PCP. And yeah, they said the coroner did say he had PCP in his system. But PCP don't mean you're supposed to get killed. See, that's that super nigga mentality. All that he was on PCP. That's the LAPD and LA County Sheriff used to say out there in LA all the time. Oh, the reason why I put that nigga in a chokehold because he was on PCP. Then it come back from the medical examiner and the brother wasn't on PCP. He ain't had no PCP or anything in his system. And they out there choking niggas out. They'll make up any excuse to do what they want to do and exact injustice on us. You have to understand, black people, there is no justice in America for you. No matter how many bullshit social platforms and ideologies you support, like LGBT, white Christianity, and Catholicism, or you join these little feminist groups and you run around the country talking shit. You can walk around with your pink Susan Komen Cure for Cancer t-shirt. You can do all that silly ass shit and you still a nigger in this country. And until you figure that shit out, you're going to keep getting your head bumped up against, you're going to keep bumping your head up against the wall talking about how come that didn't work? How come that symbolic victory didn't move us forward? I thought pulling down that Confederate statue was going to make things better for black people in America. No, it never will, because it wasn't designed to do that. And because of your stupidity, you keep running your ass out there protesting and talking shit and getting shot at and getting run over by cars and all this kind of shit, or going to jail for supporting some white protest. Protesting never changed policy and law in this country. Because as soon as they gave you the right to vote, you figured out the game was different than you thought. Every time they give us a symbolic victory, they always show us, either very soon or years later, that we just got a symbolic victory and not a real victory. Not a victory with any teeth. Yeah, you got the right to vote, but there's nobody to vote for. And the elections process, no matter whether it's the municipal level, county level, state, or federal, it's all fixed. You got to understand about the Democratic and Republican parties. The Democratic Party is the left arm. The Republican Party is the right arm. Most normal people have two arms. Here's the Democratic Party on the left, Republican Party on the right. But guess what? They belong to the same body. And until you start thinking like that, you're a fool. You're a fool. Both of those arms belong to the same body. And the body is corrupt and hateful and racist. And will always be racist until you change the system. And the only way to do that is to starve the system economically. Jerry Jones just had a Hall of Fame party about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And he spent $16 million. He spent $16 million on a party. And they hired Justin Timberlake to perform. I bet Justin Timberlake got damn near $1 million just to perform. That whack ass shit that he sings with his corny ass. Okay? Jerry Jones probably paid him damn near $1 million, if not $1 million. Because they'll give a white boy $1 million, even if he's good or not. And you drive through Dallas, especially South Oak Cliff and Southwest Dallas, Southeast Dallas, Southwest Dallas, where all the black people live. I stopped in Dallas. I stopped in Southwest Dallas when I went up to Kansas City about a month and a half ago. And I hadn't been to that part of Dallas in a long time, because I had a brother who used to live in Oak Cliff before he went down to Curacao. And I swear to God, man, the way black people live, whether it's Dallas, Houston, Fifth Ward, whether it's South Central LA, whether it's parts of Harlem, parts of the Bronx, the Boogie Down, or Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy, or Seattle, or Tacoma, where all the black people live, no matter what, no matter where you go in this country, you're going to find a black ghetto. Southside Chicago, And the reason why is because black folks are being shut out of the American dream because of white supremacy and racism. And in return, all you get, you don't even get scraps. God, man, there was so many cracked out niggas. I stopped at a Williams Chicken over there. On I think it was it Ledbetter? Forgot. I don't know if it was Ledbetter. What street it was on. I stopped at a Williams Chicken. They used to have them in Atlanta. I guess they left Atlanta, but they chicken is pretty decent. And you know, chicken was okay. The food was okay that day. I decided to sit there and eat because I had been driving all day, and there was so many dusty old niggas coming in there, man. Just 60, 50, 60, and 70-year-old black men just ass out. Just to let they lives just, you know, just reduce their lives down to a crack pipe or smoking sherm or whatever the fuck it is they do. Because you don't end up being a dusty ass nigga, a dusty middle-aged or senior citizen. You don't end up being a dusty nigga like that unless you're on drugs. A lot of these old niggas got these 50 and cool niggas. They got substance abuse problems. I don't feel sorry for them niggas, man. And they come in, this nigga came in there, he had to be 70. Coming in there, hey man, how you doing? I'm like, dude, I ain't got nothing for you, man. Oh man, I wasn't gonna ask you for no money, man. I'm like, okay, well then leave me alone. This nigga gonna come over there start trying to talk. I said, brother, I just drove 300 something miles. I don't want to talk to you. I'm sorry, brother. I just ain't in the mood. Look, you invading my space. Don't come over here talking to me. Don't come over there and pull that Southern hospitality bullshit. Because I know after you ask me how I'm doing and you talking about brother this and brother that, sooner or later it's gonna get around to you asking me for some fucking money. And it's money I don't want to give you. Because all you're going to do is snort it up or smoke it up or shoot it in your arm. That's why, you know, they had something on TV the other day. They were talking to the police chief of San Antonio. And he said, look, I don't know what we're going to do about this panhandling problem. Got all these old dusty ass drug addicts out there, whether they Mexican or black or white. I see that shit here in Austin, Texas. All these motherfuckers under bridges because of this storm that came through here. All these drug addicts sitting around under the bridge and under these bridges and shit. Just Austin got a serious homelessness problem. A lot of people don't know that. Austin got a homeless problem. And then I don't know if they ever gonna do anything about it. It's highly unlikely they'll probably do anything about it. Because they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. I don't feel sorry for no drug addicts, man. I don't, you know, I'm a compassionate person, but I ain't got no compassion for drug addicts. I got crackheads in my family that can't put that crack pipe down. That shit is sickening. And they won't get no help. And as soon as you try to talk to them into doing something productive, they want to shoot you down and get violent and start yelling and talking shit. I don't need no help. All right, nigga, go back out there and get cracked out. Go out there and stay cracked out, nigga. I can't help you. I can't fucking help you with that shit, dog. You ain't doing nothing but wasting your fucking time talking to me about some money, because I ain't giving you shit. There's too many niggas sitting around here don't want no fucking education. You can go on YouTube and learn how to fix HVAC systems. You can go on YouTube and learn how to ride a motorcycle. You can go on YouTube and learn how to fix your car or your truck. You can learn how to code just looking at videos on YouTube. Hell, I've gotten some help programming my new instruments and stuff off of YouTube. These guys go a little too fast, but I've still got some game from these guys. Gotta look at, look over it over and over again. But still, I'm glad that resource is there. Are you guys using it? Instead of just looking at booty shaking videos and bullshit nonsense rap battles. I had a couple listeners reach out to me and they said, Ice, when you gonna do some videos on music production? I'm gonna get around to that. I just gotta get this MPC-X. Once I get my MPC-X, that's really all I need. I got 3 new keyboards. I got a new rolling drum machine. I really don't need the drum machine, but I actually do. I actually do need it. I need a standalone beat source other than the one that's on one of my keyboards, which is really good, 32-bit sounds. But we're gonna do some video. We're gonna do some instructional videos on music production after I get everything set up and I get this MPC-X in the house, at the house. Not Atari, but Akai's been having some problems with the firmware on the MPC-X, and they've been slowing down the delivery. So a lot of cats ain't getting theirs, especially if you ordered like I did, like 3 or 4 weeks ago, or month ago. You probably ain't gonna get yours to the end of September. That's probably when I'm gonna get mine. Ain't gonna get it till the end of September. And I'm pissed off about that, but I can't do nothing but hold my fucking breath and make a mean face. Can't make these people deliver some shit that ain't there. You said the guys at Akai been bullshitting. Don't want to give straight answers on when they're gonna get these fucking machines in. I don't understand how you don't have enough machines to sell. It don't make no fucking sense. Then you got these little racist little assholes at these music stores that, a brother walk in, they think you gonna be a looky-loo like these fucking wetbacks that come in there. Got all these wetbacks coming in there putting a $200 guitar on layaway. I'm here to pay my layaway. Motherfucker, bringing his little $250 check in there trying to buy a guitar. And these motherfuckers see me walking around in there. And all these guys be doing is going around in there beating on instruments. They can't play shit. Some of them can play, but they ain't that good. They ain't good enough to play in no band I'm in. They see my ass here, they start thumping on the fucking bass. I'm like, dude, that shit you doing, man, I was doing that shit even when I was learning how to play the bass. Fuck you doing, dude? You ain't doing nothing but clown. Get all these wannabe motherfuckers in there. That's why I be telling black folk, why you say, I got an uncle that's just affixed. His mind is just affixed on Mexicans. His mind is just affixed on Mexicans. He can't, they don't beat him down so much. And I told him one day, I said, hey man, I said, look, let me tell you something, Unc. I go into Dick's Sporting Goods. This probably was about 6-7 months ago. I go in Dick's Sporting Goods, and there was this decent looking Mexican chick, probably looked like she about 21, 22 years old. The woman was like, the cashier was like, oh, I'm sorry, sir, I gotta wait on her. She was here earlier. And I was like, the girl didn't have nothing in her hands. She's like, oh, I have the money now to pay for the stuff. And apparently this broke ass bitch didn't have enough money. So they had, looked like it was a couple workout outfits, of tops and bottoms, and a couple bikinis. And the woman took the stuff from under the counter and put it on top of the counter. And she was like, oh, I have the money for it now. I think total was like $85. I said, look at this little broke ass bitch. But I'm a mayate. They calling us niggers and mayates, and this motherfucker can't even buy a couple pairs of shorts and some workout tops. These broke ass motherfuckers. This bitch, and I just looked at her, not like I wanted some ass, but I gave her that look like, look at you, broke ass bitch. Look at your broke ass. That bitch look embarrassed. She looked embarrassed. She looked embarrassed. But white supremacy is exposed, is becoming exposed. But I hope that because it's exposed, that people will see it for what it is. That it's a cancer on this country. The problem is you got white people who are outraged about white supremacy and Trump, but they're not outraged about getting rid of that system and replacing it with a system that benefits everybody, not just rich Caucasians. And that's why you got to have enough sense and enough objective, critical thinking skills to look past the symbolism and look at shit for what it is. And stop getting on these protest bandwagons, running your mouth and talking, you out there acting giddy and talking shit. And I'm sitting here thinking, motherfucker, you still in bondage. You still in bondage, dog. You still getting your ass kicked by white supremacy and racism just like I am. We all got to deal with it. But I'll be damned if I deal with it from a non-Caucasian person. I'd be damned if I put up with somebody else's racial prejudice. I'm not going to put up with that shit. And every now and then I got to check a motherfucker down here in San Antonio. Because some of these motherfuckers think that I'm the okie doke nigga from East San Antonio, or the northeast side of San Antonio. And you're not dealing with that type of nigga. You dealing with a brother who will get in your ass. And a lot of them, right before that chin check go down, a lot of them pull up and be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, sir." Yeah, you better be sorry, motherfucker. Pulling that shit. You can best believe there will be heads rolling, because I will talk to your manager. So you can lose your little $8 an hour fucking job serving, slanging chicken. There's some sorry motherfuckers out here, man. It's like you go to these fucking restaurants. I hate going to these restaurants now. Because you got these poverty-minded, welfare fucking waitresses that want to sit up here and expect a tip and don't do shit. I go over here to this raggedy ass Chili's over here, get some takeout. Worst mistake, well, it wasn't a mistake going there, but it was a mistake choosing what I chose to eat, which is not an item that is good for carry out. It's something that should be eaten right there in the restaurant, but I didn't want to sit in there because it was crowded as hell. And I go in there and they got a fucking begging jar sitting up there. They got a tip jar sitting there. For what? I'm taking an order, you putting it in the system, the cooks make it, and then you put it in a container and bring it out there to me. You don't deserve a tip for that. You do it, that's your job. You got all these white women and online complaining about being a server. Don't be a fucking server then. If you don't like the fact that some people are going to come in there and make you run your ass off and then not give you a tip, then you shouldn't be in that line of work. You need to go get another line of work where you feel appreciated. You got to understand, it's the most. The reason why I liken strippers and servers in the same. I put them in the same, and female bartenders, I put them all in the same boat. They're all degenerate losers. Not all of them, but most of them. And they always want something for free. Like you go to some of these white strip clubs and look how they act. These bitches ain't even fine. The dancing they doing is so fucking lame. All they doing is gyrating up and doing all this bullshit, gyrating and bending over, and they expect a tip. They got their hand out for a fucking tip. And I'm sitting there like, tip? Tip for what? Here, let me give you a tip, bitch. Learn how to dance, get some rhythm, learn how to dance, and work for your fucking money. Like the black strippers do at the black strip clubs. That's why a lot of white girls won't go to black strip club because they know they ain't got no rhythm. They know they're gonna have to work for it. Them sisters you go to them strip clubs in Atlanta, them sisters be working for that money. They work for that goddamn money. You go to that's why when guys be like, "Oh, we're gonna go to the Golden Canyon." Like, what strip club is that? Oh, that's a white strip club. Man, I ain't going in there. First of all, they want to charge you $10 to come in there for nothing. Then they want to sit up there to bounce at some old punk ass white dudes, some old white supremacist collaborator Mexicans at the door. So they want to sit up there and act like, you know, you're going to come in there and blow the place up like you're going to go in there and say Allah Akbar and blow the motherfucker up. Then they sweating you and shit. Then you go in there and sit down and 90% of the strippers won't even come your way. And the only ones that do come over there are some old gray girl, wannabe fucking black chick. Want to come over there and get a dance with her fucking belly sticking out. Bitch got a booty do. That means her stomach stick out as far as her booty do. Okay? Bitch got a booty do. Coming over here telling me, you want to dance? No, I don't want to dance, bitch. Well, fuck you then. What you come in here for then? Like, bitch, I don't want your narrow ass over here. I went to a strip club last time I was in Vegas last year. Went over there to Cheetahs. I need to upload them fucking videos. I still got that shit on my fucking phone. Go up in there, man. Them old weak ass fucking strippers in there. Man, that place used to pop. I got some pussy up in that fucking place. The last time I went in there back in, what is it, 02? Something like that? 01, 02? Shit. They got a bunch of bubblehead bitches in there in the dark area where you can go in there and get your finger bang on and get some pussy. They closed that part off, made that a VIP section. So now if you get a table dance, you got to be all in front of everybody. I don't like that shit. As soon as I walk in, some old punk ass little young black chick gonna roll up on me. Well, hi. I'm like, bitch, I ain't no simp. I ain't no trick. Well, how you doing? How long you gonna be in town? Are you here for a convention? No, bitch. I'm just here. I'm just in Vegas to take my dick out. That's all I'm here for. Ain't no special reason why I'm here. You want a table? No. Maybe later, okay? Okay, bitch won't leave me alone. Go to the bathroom, come out, this bitch standing there. Like, god damn. Go to the other side of the fucking room. Here, this bitch coming over there. You ready for a dance now? No, bitch. Want no goddamn table dance? Well, table dances are just $20 plus a tip. I'm like, so? Get no tape, man. I walk right back out of that motherfucker. Because, you know, even when they got a good thing going with some of these places, they fuck it up. After a while, they fuck it up. Just like the First King over there in Gardena, California. They closed that motherfucker up. Now they building some other business right there. Now the Barbary Coast across the street, where they fully nude, that's still open. But I don't really fuck around in there because they be in there shooting niggas. So I don't really fuck around in there. Nothing stays the same, especially after a few years. Because anything that black people, whether it's black males or black females, can enjoy when it's owned by somebody else, owned by a white person, do you really expect that they're going to keep you in mind going forward? No. If those businesses are not profitable, they close them. And now you're ass out. You ain't got nowhere to go. You ain't got no bar to go to. You don't have a club to go to because none of these niggas, especially these dope boys, they don't put their money together and build businesses so that black folks have a place to go. You go to these white strip clubs. If you go to Cali and you go to these strip clubs outside of South Central, you're gonna get treated like shit. If you go to the ones in the Valley, you go to the ones in Hollywood, the white girls, they won't go anywhere near you. They always, you go to the black strip clubs, they don't even, it used to be at First King, if you went in there before 5 o'clock, you didn't have to pay a cover fee. You had to pay a cover. But after 5, they charge $7. That was fair. Most of the time I got in there before 5 o'clock. And I was already buzzing when I went in there. And then you go in there and you feel comfortable because the bouncers are black, the DJ's black, the strippers are black. They might have 1 or 2 Hispanic women in there or white women in there, but for the most part, 99.9% of the women in there are black, and they fine as hell. That's why I used to, give them mad big ups on my show over the years. But again, like I said, they closed down about 4 or 5 years ago. I didn't know that because I ain't been out to Cali till last year. But we gotta stop this shit, man. These motherfuckers ain't playing with us. These white supremacists ain't playing with black people. And they can make jokes. They always say they're playing. Oh, this doesn't mean anything. We're just joking. Those just jokes. And then you look around later on, black folks end up dead behind jokes and playing. Oh, we don't mean nothing by it. Those are just jokes. You keep believing that and see where you end up. I want to talk about this fight that went down last night between Mayweather and McGregor. McGregor, since this fight came to fruition, this white boy was talking cash shit. He called Mayweather a monkey. He was saying all kind of racially derogatory shit over the past few weeks, just acting a fucking fool. And got in the ring and do what all white boys do when they're outgunned and outmatched. They try to cheat. I didn't see the fight because I wasn't at home. And what I noticed is that the highlights that I saw online, McGregor looked like he was just up there. He was up there reaching at straws. He had no game plan. He was just winging it, and looked like because of the defensive showman that Mayweather is, he let him tire himself out. And like I said, this is not me talking. But based on the research, genetic research, DNA research, there's no way, even with a 40-year-old black man, what is McGregor, 24, 27, 20, what is he, 27? And he got in there and ran out of gas because you're talking about a guy who is genetically inferior. Can't say it anything better than that. He let he didn't let, but a 40-year-old man beat his ass. From the highlights that I saw, it looked like Mayweather put on a clinic on his ass. And they were complaining about the ref allowing McGregor to fight dirty and to do the silly shit that he was doing. Let me explain something to you. Mayweather had a game plan from start to finish. And it worked. Okay? I was looking at a graphic I'm gonna say I was looking at graphic. I'm gonna go get back to the fight in a minute. But I was looking at graphic. Uh, I finally saw the movie on Netflix, 13th. Finally saw that, and it was brilliant. It was very well done, and it was saying that they listed all the names of the black men, women, and children who have been killed at the hands of white police officers over the past 5 or 6 years, and there were over 500 names. 500 black people have lost their lives at the hands of police, so-called white police officers who are supposed to be enforcing the law, not enforcing white supremacist domination on black people. 500 black people have been killed. But the ones that we know about, like Sandra Bland, and a couple other black women, Tamir Rice, Trayvon Martin was killed by a wannabe play cop, toy cop, wannabe neighborhood watch clown, but he lost his life at the hands of a white supremacist collaborator. Okay? Michael Brown, Michael Johnson, Philando Castile, straight up murdered. 500. And there's probably going to be 500 more because most of you are going to sit on your hands and look for symbolic victories or symbolic movements because that you don't have to do anything. See, you have to understand. You have to understand why black people love church. Why black people love going to Catholic mass and going to church services on Sunday. You know why they love to do that? Because there's no requirement. There's no contract they have to sign. There's no social contract that says I so and so plan to do something. They're not compelled to do anything. So symbolically, they show up to church or they go to mass and they throw up some Hail Marys and my job is done. Now let me get back out here and continue to sin. That's their mentality. That's their fucking mentality. So you don't have to do nothing when you're a Christian or a Catholic. You don't have to do shit. You're not required to do anything. You're not required to support black businesses. You're not required to support black causes that affect all of us as black people, not just some old non-black person's situation going on somewhere else. But we love symbolic victories. We love symbolism because symbolism means you don't have to take a side. You don't have to take a stand for anything. You can stand up there and say, I don't like police brutality. You can stand up there with a picket sign talking about down with white supremacy and racism. That doesn't mean you're doing anything. You're just walking around with a fucking sign. You're not actually doing anything. That's why black women love church. It's sexy. They can party to some music. They can come in there and not get judged, even though they've spent the last, 100 years being a harlot and a broken down renegade hoe. They can go in there and hide in plain sight and not be called upon to do anything and not be called out on anything because the preacher knows who his core customer or her core customer is. Single mothers. Because these women are spiritually desperate and they're spiritually bankrupt. And they think listening to some gospel music and jumping all around and foaming at the mouth is a symbolic victory that will change their lives. I'm sorry. I don't care how many times you go to church, you're still going to hell. Because everybody talking about heaven ain't going. If there is one, you ain't going. You can't shit on your people or shit on black men in particular and go to heaven. That's not how this works. Your slate has to be clean. You can't go to heaven with dirty hands. You can't go out here and be a black woman and be a Negro bedwench and sleep with your white boss and not get a promotion and then shit on black men, put your baby daddy on child support or baby daddies on child support and think all you got to do is show up on Sunday and go to heaven. It ain't going to happen. You're going straight to hell with your white supremacist boss. You and him might be sitting right next to each other in the lake of fire. Let's cut the shit, man. Cut the shit. Just cut the shit, man. Like I said, you got all these black folks foaming at the mouth, talking shit. Talking about, oh, I support LGBT, I support black Christians, I love Jesus Christ. Oh, you love everything but black men. You love everything but black men and black children. Black women, everything is, they are the center. They have to have all the fucking attention. You go on Facebook and see 50-year-old women poking their ass out. Because black women support everything but the right things. They don't give a shit about black children, and they don't give a shit about black men. So you go online and you see all these black women, especially the ugly and fat ones, going on or going on their Facebook page or whatever social media platform they're on, calling themselves divas and queens. First of all, queens and divas are royalty. And you ain't royalty if you work a customer service job paying $13 an hour answering phones on the swing shift. You ain't a queen or a diva and you got to work second shift at the call center. That's the only kind of jobs black women got. I don't know how many customer service agents. I'm like, what do you do? I'm working customer service. Oh, that means you're a customer service agent. That means when I call my bank, I'm talking to your $13 an hour ass with your fucking attitude. I don't know how some of these people get a job and keep a job. But you know what? If you talk to a lot of these broke ass, bum ass women that work these kinds of jobs, the one central theme that you'll find is they go from job to job. How long you been on your customer service job? Oh, I've been there about 4 months. Well, where were you before that? Oh, I was working for Wells Fargo. Well, what happened with that? I had a racist boss. No, you didn't have a racist boss. You just wouldn't come to work on time. How I know is because I've had black women work for me. Why you late? Oh, I had to take my son to daycare. So did I. How come I'm here on time and you ain't? I got kids to take to daycare and school. How come your ass got to be coming in here late? You should understand. I got kids. Look at all these. You look out this window. You see out my window here in the office. You see all these people out here. They got kids too, and they're here on time. You're the one that's late every fucking day because you want to go out and turn up every fucking night instead of getting home, getting your ass in bed and getting some rest so you can come in here on time. You have to understand something. And I want you to listen and I want you to hear me clearly. When you got a bullshit job, this is how you know you got a bullshit job. If you come to work and you don't want to be there and you keep watching the clock, you got a job that you really don't want. But most people don't want to follow the path to greatness because it involves risk, sacrifice, and work, which are some attributes most people don't have. So they'll take the easy way out. Hey, I ain't taking no risks. Fuck the Iceman. I ain't taking no risk. I'm gonna go over here and work this customer service job. I'm gonna go work this $10 an hour warehouse job, and you go there and you're miserable because you're dealing with racism from a white boss. Sometimes if you're working at a company, sometimes they'll put a Mexican in charge of the brothers just to piss y'all off. They ain't gonna put no nigga in charge because they know that's gonna make you want to come to work. Oh, I got a black supervisor. I ain't gonna run no game on it, but I know he understands me as a black man or a black woman. But I tell all my black employees when I work in corporate America, hey man, you can't come in here fucking up. Don't come in here late. Because if I don't do anything about it, if your supervisor who reports to me doesn't do anything about it, I'm gonna have to do something about it, and I guarantee you ain't gonna like the outcome because it's probably gonna entail you going down to human resources, getting suspended without pay, or just straight up getting terminated because this is an at-will job. We can terminate employment without your consent, without any reason. And I know black folks that go from bullshit dead-end job to bullshit dead-end job. And then wonder why they look around and still working a dead-end job. Like I had this one dude talking about he works for Bruegel, some bagel place. So I got the name of it. And he was like, hey, Iceman, what do you think about me getting a job working in Omaha Steaks? Well, I said, well, how much you making at this bagel place? Well, I'll make about $8.50 an hour. I said, well, how much you gonna make at Omaha Steaks? Oh man, I'm gonna make about 12 an hour. I said, well, that's just $2 more, dude. It's just like with this fast food, we want $15 an hour. And you look at these, I said this in videos past. These idiots, these fast food restaurants said, okay, we're gonna pay you $15 an hour. We're gonna give you less hours. So the amount you're gonna work less hours, make more money per hour, but you're gonna get less hours, which means you only gonna make the same amount of money you were working. You'll make it when you made $8 an hour and working 32 hours a week. But instead of getting 32 to 35 hours a week, now you only get 15 to 20. Now they're complaining about that. People who are on the bottom, people who are in American society, where the Buffetts and the Bill Gates, they think of you as turtle slime. They think of you. They don't have respect for you as jizz. They don't have respect for you as a turd. They got less respect for you. They got more respect for you than a turd than they do their employees that are at the bottom working at these fast food establishments or fast casual. You're not going to make any money slanging chicken tenders at Chili's and Applebee's and TGI Fridays. That job wasn't designed for you to get ahead. That's just a job for you to save up enough money to buy some fucking rims. What else are you going to buy with $7 something an hour, $8 something, $9 an hour? That ain't no fucking money. So now you're going to go from making $8 an hour and working 35 hours a week to only working 15 to 20 hours a week, making $15 an hour. In some cases, with some of the testimony from some of these poor people that work these jobs, you know what they said? You know what some of them said? You know what they said? They said, now I'm making $15 an hour, but now I'm making less money than I made when I made $8 an hour. Well, if you had any intelligence, you would have done the math before you went out there and bought the poster board and made those stupid picket signs talking about you want $15 an hour. You want a living wage. Well, you got a living wage. You just ain't getting the living hours that it takes to have a paycheck that's going to pay most of your bills. That's why some people, when they work these fast food jobs, they damn near got to save up a whole month's check just to pay the rent on the first. That's why a lot of them be late on their rent, because when you get paid every 2 weeks, I don't know any fast food place that pays every week. There's a couple, but they're regional. They're not nationwide. And so some of these employers do pay every week, but still they only pay $7 to $8 an hour. So you got people that they're spending 90% of their check on rent. That's why a lot of these poor ass people, they got roommates. That's why sometimes I hate living where I live, because so many fucking people living 5 or 6 adults to a fucking house. And so they're parking their raggedy ass cars where people like me park. And all of them got a funky ass attitude because they don't see a whole bunch of people running in and out my place. I don't know how even 2 people live in a 2-bedroom, 2-bath house, apartment. I don't know how they do it. That ain't enough room. Every time you turn around, you looking at somebody. Whether it's your wife, your husband, girlfriend, boyfriend, whomever, brother, sister, whatever. Like this stupid ass Mexican dude that's in the reserves that live on the 3rd floor above me. He got his wife there. I guess they had 3 kids or with their grandparents or other relatives for the summer. Probably got their kids back now because I think they started school last week in San Antonio. And he's got some bum ass dude working. He's some old Whataburger working, some old young brother live up there. Him and his girlfriend live up there. Then the guy got his brother living there. So you got 4 adults living there, and if their kids are back over there, it's going to be 3 kids living in a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment. Does that sound like bum ass nigga shit or what? Who fucking lives like that? All those fucking people? I look at some of these people's units, and they leave their storage room light on. They got doors all open at the back, just living foul. And you know the electric bill is $150. Like there's some Mexican chick that live in the same building, but on the other side of my building. Decent looking, she probably about early 40s. She a decent looking chick. She ain't got no butt, and she got a couple mixed kids, and she be letting them little boys run around outside with no socks on, no shoes on, and all these people letting their dogs defecate all over the sidewalk because they ain't got no fucking sense. And she just be having her boys just running around with no shoes and socks on that nasty ass fucking concrete and in that parking lot. Just nasty. And she be looking at me like she want to give me some ass. I don't want to be bothered. Because and she got an older daughter that look like she's probably 18, 19, 20 years old living there too. And some of these women, ladies, I don't care what race you are, one of the number one reason why a lot of men, like successful men like me and some of these other brothers and sisters, some of these brothers like Human Paradox or Super Sea Dragon, my Navy homeboy. The reason why a lot of men like that who are gainfully employed, you know what the reason why they don't fuck with you? You know why they don't fuck with you? Because when they look at you, they see chaos and disorder. They see a woman who doesn't have any order to her life. And they know if they get added to the equation, that ignorance and that lack of focus and that lack of discipline is going to cause problems for him. So men with a brain in their head will pass you up. I don't care how fine you are. It doesn't help that this woman don't have no ass. But still, I probably wouldn't fuck with her anyway because I don't want to shit where I eat. I don't usually like to date women where I live. That just doesn't work. Because what if it doesn't work out? Because I can tell you right now, it ain't gonna work out. Because Iceman ain't looking for no wife. I really ain't even looking for no girlfriend. I'm just looking for friends with benefits. I'm just looking for a cuddy buddy. That's all I'm looking for is cuddy buddies. I ain't looking for no girlfriend. So when I get these bitches stargazing at my ass and looking like, hey, you know, you can come over here and get some of this pussy if you want, I just leave them alone. And after a while, they stop looking at me. Because I'm like, you're lame. And I'm not helping you financially. Because you got to understand the way American women think, no matter what race they are, they're not interested in you in fixing their lives. What they want you to do is manage their bullshit. And if you dumb enough and simp enough and trick enough to do that shit, more power to you. But I ain't doing it. And most of my listeners ain't going to do it. So you got a lot of bitches out here crying foul. But hey, you a renegade bitch. You a renegade. Can't do nothing with you. You set in your ways and you ain't finna do right. You damn sure ain't gonna do right by the Iceman. So you got a lot of single women out here whose lives are a mess. And guess where they end up, ladies and gentlemen? You guessed it, plenty of fish. I gotta check out this website called Plenty of Hoes. I gotta check that out. I think that's a porn site, but I'm gonna go look at it anyway. But ladies and gentlemen, let me just say this here. God's got a plan for everybody. But if you ain't willing to follow your path, if you're not willing to follow your path, God's gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna let you fumble around out here in the wilderness. I'm gonna let you fumble around here for 40 years. I'm gonna let you fumble out here in the dark. I'm gonna let you work all these dead-end jobs. I'm gonna let you keep getting these bum-ass men. I'm gonna let you keep getting these bum-ass women. And all you women out here who go after these liars that say, oh, baby, I got money. I got $800,000 in my 401k. You can go ahead and run after them type of niggas. And when you get with them, you're going to find out, like my ex did, that these niggas ain't got no money. Okay? Now you got to go out here and steal people's identities and get credit cards and other people's names, like my ex-wife got to do. Now I got one of my sons calling me talking shit. I told both my kids, I gave both of y'all, I gave your mom $14,000 a piece for y'all to go to college. And my son up here calling me talking shit. Talking about, man, I gotta go get it. I'm trying to get a job right now. What are you getting a job for? I just gave you $14,000. What the fuck did your mom do with the money? He ain't got shit to say. He just sat on the fucking phone. He ain't had shit to say. I texted him the information first. I said, hey, look, I sent this money to your mom. Where the money at? You guys got enough money to pay for your first year of college and room and board. And these two knuckleheads want to be mad at me. For what? I'm doing my fucking job. Oh, man, I got to get a job. I'm getting ready to interview for a job right now. What for? Dog, you ain't supposed to be working. I said, man, all you need to be doing is going to school. Now, if you want to apply for scholarships, go ahead. But you ain't got no business you ain't got no business working, not even part-time. But their mom stole that money from them. But black men are the assholes. And I told my son, I said, hey man, your beef, you got a legitimate beef, but it ain't with me. You need to go. I'm coming out in a minute. I'll be out in a few. Like I said, black men aren't the villains. And brothers, it's 2017. It's time for us to stop allowing black women and these white supremacist collaborator folks and white supremacists alike to stop using black men as human pinatas. We gotta stop this shit. Just like looking at that fight people who saw that fight, those of you who saw the fight. Am I lying? Mayweather put on a clinic. He was, and in the 10th round, he was knocking McGregor's head around like his head was a goddamn pinata. Hell, if he'd have hit it a couple of more times, I guarantee some Snickers and Milky Ways would have popped out his goddamn ears. When the black man and the black woman are at their best, they know even with white supremacy they can't touch us. The white man always has to cheat. The white woman always has to cheat. They always have to cheat. I mean, from what I heard, McGregor was allowed to hit Mayweather in the back of the head and all kind of shit, and the ref didn't take no points off. Probably because them white folks told him to. Say, hey, you better officiate this fight to give McGregor an edge. I guarantee they got in his ear. That wasn't a default position on his part. He was doing as he was told to do. But no matter what, even with white supremacy, when the black man is at his best, and even when these other first people are at these non-blacks, especially these Caucasians, are at their best is below average to our greatness. And you need to realize the sum of your worth. Because a lot of you black men are beat down for whatever reason. You can say, oh, I got a felony, or I got my misdemeanors on my record. All that's an excuse. Don King is one of the most legendary fight promoters. He's a multi-millionaire. He's worth $30 million. And Don King went to prison for killing a man for 3 years. He didn't let that shit stop him. His brilliance got him where he is today. And he ain't got to worry about shit. I don't think Don King's promoted a fight in years. He don't need to. He don't need to. Hell, Mayweather be promoting fights with other fighters. He promotes other fights, even fights that he's not in. And that's the smart thing. If Mike Tyson had done that, he'd still be having a grip in the bank. Still letting them honkies fuck his money up. So he got to pay the IRS till he goddamn die. Doing all these stupid movies. But brothers, we are on our own. We don't have the support of most black women. We have the support of some black women, but mostly we don't have the support of black women, and we probably never will. So we gotta march on and do our thing. We gotta keep it moving, brothers. You got me. I'm in your corner, brother. Don't shit on me, man. I'm in your corner. Let's make this thing. Make this thing happen. Support black businesses, whether you support my businesses or not. Support a black business. Start with one near you. Put yourself on a 3 to 5 year plan if you're in a dead end job. Say, okay, I'm going to listen to the Iceman. He said, give myself a couple years. Yeah, because you need to build up a war chest of money. You got to start saving your money instead of fucking your money off on weed and going to the strip club or spending it on online porn. That's idiot shit. That shit ain't going to help you move forward. There's free porn online. The fuck you paying for it for? Everybody got a couple stashes of DVDs. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about motherfuckers sitting up here spending $30 a month on some Bang Brothers shit. Who give them crackers no money? It's sad that ain't enough brothers out here doing online porn. Used to be a brother, I forgot where he's from. He used to have a site called onionbooty.com. But he start fucking up. And I think he sold the site to somebody else. They still got it up, but it's all bullshit. Got a lot of old content and shit like that on there. We got to do better, black people. If you're sick and tired of being a subject of white supremacy, then you have to create your own economy. And you can do it. Hell, the Jews did it. And some groups of Latinos have done it. But not on the scale that you might think they're doing it on. I know on TV they try to make everybody look like they're doing better than black folks when that's not true. They try to say Asians are smarter than white people and they get better grades and they get accepted to Ivy League schools more than anybody. But what they fail to mention is that the Africans who are coming straight over here from countries on the continent of Africa, they're coming over here fucking these Asians up. But they don't want to talk about that. Hell, they had a young Nigerian cat that got accepted to every last Ivy League school. I'm not surprised. And most Asians don't get accepted to all those Ivy League schools. He got accepted to all of them. And he got major scholarships where he don't have to pay a dime. He's going to get a free ride and he's going to have money left over to put in his pocket to fold up. But yeah, he's going to get on the campus and be a nigger nerd and start hanging around a bunch of clowns that don't look like him. Because he wants attention and he wants to get accepted. Black people, let me say this in closing. And let me say this about black men. Let me tell you this. Let me just say this here. Brothers, no matter what you do, you're on your own. No matter what you say, you're on your own. And no matter what you do, you're still going to be the subject of white supremacy and racism. You're going to feel the full brunt of it and the full weight of it. And there ain't shit you can do about it unless you start uniting with other black men, because you do not have the support of most black women. And no matter what you do, all these symbolic victories that you think are important, like pulling down Confederate statues, when it's all said and done, that shit means nothing. And you get nothing. At the end of the day, you get nothing. Just like you did 50 years ago. And voting ain't going to get you out of this problem. Going to church ain't going to get you out of this problem. Praying to white Jesus ain't going to get you out of this problem. The only way you're going to get out of this problem is by reuniting with other black people and letting your dollars speak for themselves. You tuned into the Iceman Show. I'm your host, the Iceman. Go to AskTheIceman.com for information on the Iceman Show. I'm working on the dating Bible as we speak. I'm still writing it. But you can get my new book, The Game of Life, according to the Iceman Volume 1 at AskTheIceman.com. You get an autographed version of the book, or you can go to Amazon.com and get the Kindle or tablet version or even a paperback version of my book at Amazon.com. You tuned in to the Iceman Show. I'm your host, the Iceman. Holler at your boy.